Despite plenty of newer compact crossovers on the market and a turbocharged option, the naturally aspirated Mazda CX-5 is still one of the best compact crossovers you can buy from a driver's perspective. But what sort of fuel economy can you expect cruising on the highway with this all-wheel drive model? Tonight we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2025 Mazda CX-5. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this compact crossover. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Funny enough, a gray Mazda CX-5 was the very first car that we ever conducted a Daily Motor highway fuel economy test on. That was an all-wheel drive turbocharged model, and I don't think we've had a naturally aspirated CX-5 since then. Or maybe even before then. I mean, it's been a really long time. Mazda loves to show off their turbocharged options, but I really think the naturally aspirated car is the best for most people. Yeah, the turbo's quicker and a little bit smoother, but this one costs less and theoretically gets better fuel economy, so I'm really curious how it's going to do. If you do want to see more on this carbon model, check the link below. We got a full pros and cons review and a review of the 10-speaker Bose sound system. And then we've also got coverage on the turbocharged CX-5s and the CX-50 as well, which you can find below. And we're going to try to get the CX-50 hybrid in at some point here soon, too. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this CX-5 29 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who drive their cars at faster highway speeds for long periods of time and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, I'm going to head over to the gas station tonight once there's less traffic. We're going to go out and we'll fill up the car and then head out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperature will be in the high 50s by later tonight. I'm going to set the tire pressures to their door placard 35 psi cold, and we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So without any further ado, let's head to the pump. Oh no, look at that poor Miata. What have you done to my boy? Man, he's still sending it though. Here at the pump, we put in 2.762 gallons for our initial fill. We got our trip computer reset, GPS reset, climate control set to 73 auto, and we're ready to begin. Only 2 different drive modes here in the CX-5. You've got Sport and Normal. Very simple and straightforward there. So we're going to be doing this test in Normal. I'm going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now the goal of this test isn't a hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this test, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and we're going to set our cruise control to a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average just about 70 over the whole test. I'm going to have to look up to see if the CX-5 2.5 NA has cylinder deactivation. Some people pointed out in the Mazda 3 video that that's a downside to getting that engine, is the cylinder deactivation. I kind of agree with them. I mean, yeah, that 42 is an impressive number that we got in that car, but at what cost? A few miles per gallon in order to drop 2 cylinders on a 4-cylinder? I don't know. It seems a little strange to me. The other thing that's strange to me with this car is the fact that we don't have any sort of digital speedometer. So I'm going to have to kind of, well, I guess I can use the cruise control once I get it set to see what our speed is set on there. But GPS is giving us 71 right now, so I guess I'll set the cruise 71. All right, 71 on the car is giving us 71 on the GPS. Easy enough. Initial highway impressions. Nice light steering. Average not noise in here. I know some of the older CX-5s were a little loud. This one doesn't exactly seem quiet, but also not too bad for the price point. I don't think we have any sort of active lane keeping, however. So I'm going to have to do driving myself. What a concept. We do have lane departure warning, but no sort of active steering. So I'm going to continue on with the test, catch up with you at the end, and test up this Bose sound system with some members-only tracks. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the CX-5. No big surprise, this is a perfectly fine place to be for an hour and a half on the highway. Got the good Bose sound system, decent enough adaptive cruise control actually. Haven't been annoyed by it being too sensitive or anything like that. Would like to have a degree of active lane keeping, that's for sure. What else? Is quiet enough in here? Yeah, it just works. That's when you buy a Mazda, you just want a good car. In terms of fuel economy, we're looking at about 32 miles per gallon according to the dash. 31.8 right now. It should come up to about 32 by the time we coast off the off ramp. Average speed has been nice. Unfortunately, right here at 71 on the dash, we're getting between 71 and 72 on the GPS. So I've actually been alternating between that and 70. Kind of gives us more 70, 71 on the GPS. So either way, coming in with an average just about 70. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, not really too much to report. Tack shot here, looking at here under 2,500 RPM. I look directly at the gauge. Yeah, about probably 2,450, 70 miles per hour. It's a little bit high for an automatic transmission, but yeah. Not too terrible there. It's not like you hear the engine running or anything like that. So, we're going to get it back to the pump, fill it up, and recap the numbers in the morning. Back here and fueled up the next morning, and I did a little research this morning and found out that yes, this motor does have cylinder deactivation. But interestingly, it's not on all naturally aspirated CX-5s. If you get a base model all the way up until right before you hit the carbon in the trims, you get the same motor without both cylinder deactivation and engine stop-start. The EPA ratings jump from 2329 city highway to 2630 when you get the cylinder deactivation and engine stop-start. Now, I'm kind of okay with the engine stop-start. I mean, 23 to 26, that's a fairly substantial jump, especially if you do a lot of highway or city driving. But going through the development process and then the validation just to go from 29 miles per gallon highway to 30 miles per gallon highway in the EPA, and then dealing with cylinder deactivation because of that, that's a little frustrating to me. I wish they would have just left that part out. But 30 miles per gallon is what the EPA claims we should be getting. The car said 32 when we got back, and we ended up putting in 3.355 gallons into the fuel tank. So if we take our calculator and go 100.3 miles traveled divided by that 3.355, ooh, all right, that's quite a bit lower than the car. That's actually coming right back out to the EPA's number of 30 miles per gallon here for the Mazda CX-5 2.5 liter naturally aspirated with cylinder deactivation. Admittedly, not that fantastic of a number for a car that isn't quite as large as some of the competition, and I mean, some of the competitors are getting well into the mid-30s, some of them even better with hybrids. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be getting up toward 40s with a car like this. I'm not saying 30 is bad. It's just not that impressive for this class and this size of vehicle. We've got a 15.3 gallon fuel tank in here, so 15.3 times 30 miles per gallon. It's giving you a decent effective highway cruising range of 450 miles here in the Mazda CX-5. I should compare real quick. What's the number? Well, that was such a rudimentary test. Let's go back real quick and just see what we got in our very initial test on the CX-5 Turbo. Boy, 17-minute long video. Yeesh. I was doing the test with my tablet.
3.261 gives us 33.24.
Oof.
So 33.2 miles to the gallon. That seems a little more accurate, but still kind of seems on the high side.
All right, so 33, I said in the video it seems on the high side. Still seems high to me now, but maybe the turbo motor isn't going to be any worse, which kind of makes sense if it's just cruising along, not in boost. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on this CX-5 Carbon, check the link below, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.